Good day, viewers, and you're welcome to another wonderful edition of our newspaper review today. And today we're going to look at 4 national dailies and with the trending issues. And I am sure the way it is, there is no how we're going to exhaust all the trending issues in Nigeria, but we're going to look at 3 of them. First, we're going to start with the National Star. In the National Star, we have few things to look at, and after that, the nation will be going over to the Punch, and after the Punch we'll take the Daily Sun, and that will be the last for today. In the studio with me today, I am not alone. I have people who are also conversant with the affairs of this country. From my far left, I have Dr. Stanley Ndwago. Dr. Stanley Ndwago, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator.
And also by my immediate left, I have Barrister Chimenka Kingsley Omudara. Barrister, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. Good day, viewers.
All right, today we are, first and foremost, we are going to look at the National Star. In the National Star, we have this issue that borders on security. Gunmen attack Akwa Ibom NYSC Lodge, rape. They robbed and raped female CAP members. And before now, we know that in almost all the camps within the NYSC, there are always soldiers and security. How come about this? Dr. Ndwago, let me start with you. Have you heard about this?
Yes, when I read it, as a teacher, we have corps members in our various schools who are there on national service. I know that one of the rules is that you provide conducive and secure accommodation for them. But these days we've discovered that some of these corps members prefer living together in a place called the Corpus Lodge, as they call it. And I am sure that was where the attack took place, not in the camps. Because the camps have security people, but in the lodges, these are open places they live in. And it is very, very worrisome. It is unfortunate. It is a national calamity. People, daredevil robbers, or by whatever name they are called, invading these lodges, robbing and defiling the young girls who are serving the nation. It is worrisome. And that tells you the level of insecurity we are facing in this country. So it is worrisome. It is a trend that shouldn't have happened at all. And as usual, it will be swept under the carpet. All we're going to hear this is that we are going to investigate, we are going to bring them to justice, we are going to bring them to book. At the end of the day, nothing happens. I don't think the government of this nation is doing enough to secure lives and property of the citizens of this country.
All right, thank you, Dr. Ndwago. Barrister, the issue of insecurity in this country, it's everywhere. But bringing it down to the NYSC Lodge, what is your take on that?
Well, NYSC Lodge is part of this society. The fact is that there is a system collapse. In Nigeria today, we are no longer talking about security coming from the government. In fact, a few days ago, we heard of a governor advising his citizens to take up arms to defend themselves. We must admit the fact that government has failed. The primary duty of government is protection of lives and property. Primary duty of government. But in Nigeria today, insecurity is the intent. Nobody is safe anywhere. Not even in your house, not even in the marketplaces, not even in the schools. When you talk about the corps members, then they used to be have priority attention. Government protects them. They are government property. They serve the nation. Wherever they are should have been protected, provided with security. He said it's in their lodges, whatever, wherever it is. The fact is, government has failed. How can you be talking about gunmen invading? It means it wasn't just a robbery incident. It was a planned, calculated thing. They invaded. They saw the place. It was a soft spot for them. They came in there, attacked the students, raped the girls. In fact, I don't think a man guy was there, any man was there. It was a female's lodge, so to say. Government has failed its citizens. If it is security, they have.
All right, let me come back to you, Dr. Nduago. What do you think it's supposed to be the government's take on this? Will this thing be left to continue this way, to lie low as it is? Because nothing has been heard about it.
We have seen high-profile incidents like this happen and nothing happened. Let us not forget that a few days ago, the president's convoy was attacked. Let us not forget that we've had high-profile people killed in this country. Let us not forget that a town is being sacked, houses razed, and nothing happened. Let's not forget that a church was attacked some time ago, scores of worshippers killed, and we've not heard anything about it. I won't be surprised if at the end of the day, nothing will come out of it. It will be the usual statement. Look, it has become the normal life for violence to happen. In those days, if you hear that a violent act took place and somebody died, everybody would become agitated. But this time it has become part of our lives. I bet you that nothing will come out of it because insecurity has overwhelmed even the security agencies and the government. The lawyer said here that it is the primary responsibility of every government to secure lives and property. But in this regard, without mincing words, the government has failed. And without mincing words, I won't be surprised to hear, or if at the end of the day, that nothing will come out of it. For now, I don't think there's any official statement from the police command of that particular state where it happened. I'm not yet aware of what the chief security officer of that state, the governor, has said. All we will hear is that we're on top of the situation. Unfortunately, nothing is going to come out of it. That is my own opinion.
All right, Council, because so many of this has happened in the past and nothing happened, is that enough for this one? Is that enough for what has happened in Akwa Ibom to allow it lie low?
Well,
must we continue this way?
Well, your guess is as good as mine. Here every day we hear something will be done. We'll probe the incident. Well, another thing is that remember that place wasn't housing the son of or the daughter of a minister. It wasn't housing the daughter of a governor. It wasn't housing the daughter of the president. The common man in Nigeria has always been left to deal with his issues himself. I bet you nothing will be heard about this. Nobody will institute any investigations. Even if they do, nothing will ever come out of it. It is our lot. It is the lot of Nigerian commoner. We have come to take it the way we said it.
All right, let us not overflog that issue. Recently also in this paper, we have Obi's candidacy nightmare for treasury looters in Nigeria. And then I want to ask, since it is obvious that one of the major things we are suffering in this country is because of our leadership failure, and not just about leadership failure, when we talk about looting and corruption, it is everywhere in this country. Now, saying that Obi's candidacy is a nightmare, is that enough reason why he is being criticized or why he won't be elected? Let me start with you, Barrister.
Well, Obi's candidacy is a nightmare to certain quarters. Yes, we know that. But one thing is certain. Obi is a movement. Obi seems to be an idea whose time has come. If Obi is a movement, if it's an idea whose time has come, nobody can stop it. Yeah, certainly if you know you have something to hide in your cupboard, if you have a skeleton in your cupboard, you'll be afraid when search is conducted. When somebody talks about searching, you'll be afraid. Obi will know, at least to a reasonable extent, lives above board. Nobody is a saint, but we have seen Obi in Anambra State. We know his antecedents. I'm not here to campaign for him, but I think we should go with Nigerians want to go with the lesser evil. The lesser evil of the three, I think, is Peter B. now.
All right, Dr. Ndoago, what is your take on these comments? And if Obi is going to be a nightmare to looters, do we now assume that this looting of the treasury has been the major problem or setback in this country?
Let us remember that there are people whose business is only to feed fat on our common treasury and patrimony. And you don't expect them to keep quiet and fold their arms and see somebody coming to stop that trend, that business. Yes, I agree that Obi's candidacy is going to be a nightmare because he is a movement, as Barrister here said. If you see the number of people who believe in him, you will know that he is a threat to other contenders to the throne. I therefore believe that we need somebody who is out, who will be bold enough to stop the looting of our treasury. We have seen a civil servant accused of looting 80 billion naira. That is madness. I'm not a mathematics teacher, but I know that if you begin to consume or spend 1 million naira on a daily basis, it will take you more than 20 years. What is 20 years? 200 years to finish spending 80 billion naira. And one man, a civil servant, is accused of stealing that. That is a civil servant. We've not talked about politicians. Therefore, I am particularly concerned, and I will support any candidate who will at least try to reduce to the barest minimum the level at which our treasury is being looted. And I believe that Obi is a man. Council said we are not campaigning. We are stating the obvious. We need somebody who is courageous enough to say enough is enough. You can't stop it in Nigeria, but it can be reduced. And I believe that Obi is that man that can do it.
All right. Council, if looting or corruption has become a tradition in our Nigerian polity, do you think Obi will ever make a headway as a president of this country?
Well, yes. The forces may try to stop him. But look at what is happening. Look at the rate with which the youth want to take the country, their destiny, by their hands. They are really out. Remember, election is all about numbers. If the youths are really serious, they want a change, all of them will get their PVCs and come out and vote. Voting is one man, one vote. Thank God, with the new electoral law, I am sure that rigging will be reduced to the barest minimum. It will no longer be business as usual. If you want a change, this is the time to stand up for it. I don't see anybody stopping him.
Okay. Especially,
just like I said earlier, if he is an idea whose time has come, nothing will stop him.
All right. The last we're going to look at that is a national star is this also subheading that says police arrest journalists. Want them to disclose source of information. We all are Nigerians and we know the press as the fourth estate of the realm. Has the police any right to force the source of information from the journalist? That is one. Another one like it is, are you forcing out the source because what he published is wrong or because of the person concerned? Let me start with you, Dr. Ndoago.
Coincidentally, I am a media professional. I've been a broadcaster for some years right now. To feed my listeners with accurate and correct information, I go the extra mile. I've taken the risk of going to dungeons to interview people, drug peddlers, drug consumers, to find out their sources. Nobody has the right to coerce me into divulging how I got my information. There's something we call investigative journalism, and I'm sure that is what these journalists did. The police have no right whatsoever to force him to release to them the source of his information, unless that particular person is a high-profile suspect and they need a clue on how to apprehend him. If that is their reason, well, they can dialogue with the journalist and say, please, could you assist us with the information on how you were able to reach out this person? But outside that, the police have no right whatsoever to force that journalist to go to divulge the information. As I am, I go this drama, as I said, to get information, and the police cannot say, you must tell us how you got it. That is just my take on this.
All right, Councillor, let us also look at the legal implication of this, because I know in journalism we have what we call scoop, and that is a story that is exclusively owned by a particular media. You know, and if exactly what has happened, just like Ndoago said, this is investigative journalism. What right has the police to demand for the source? And not all about the police. The man in question, who was the former chief of staff to former Governor Obiano, is not arguing the statement, but wants to know the source of the information. What are the legal implications?
Well, to start with, we know that the police of Nigeria, the one we have today, is not for the common man. The police works for the highest bidder in our country today. Ordinarily, the man has the ethics of his profession. And I think one of such things is that he's under the oath of secrecy.
Yeah.
He ought not disclose the source of his information, otherwise he wouldn't have another one tomorrow. Legally, the police doesn't have such rights. Yes, legally they don't. If they are saying somebody wrote a petition against him, that's why they arrested him. Yes, if there's a petition against him, yes, he could be arrested, he could be invited. But for him for the police to coerce him to disclose source of his information is absolutely wrong. It's either they can investigate his information. Everything he stated should have a source. If it is a person, the person should be existing. If it's somebody that has written the petition, that person knows something, he should tell the police. That person ought also to be investigated, and not even the journalist. Why are you going to the police? If you think he has stated something that is wrong against you, there are laws, there are remedies in law. You can approach the law courts. We have libel, we have law against slander, defamation, and so on. You can approach the law courts, you can get remedy. But if you are trying to hide something, you must, in Nigeria, use the police to hide the thing. We know what happened to the case of Ekweremadu River State Governor, Ben Ayode, and the journalist that wrote something against him. How many years did he spend in police custody? What about the one in Bayelsa State? Did anybody charge them to court? He just to muzzle the people, hide the information, hide the story. That's all. The police is not going to do anything.
All right, like in this case now, the young man has been in police detention, and the police has vowed to keep him there until that information is, blown out. Is it supposed to be so?
They cannot keep him there forever. I can assure you that NUJ and other concerned bodies will come up, even though the police feel, to me, now behave as if they are above the law. The lawyer here knows that there is a limit to which you can keep somebody in custody, even though this has been disregarded, has been abused, and nothing happened. So I think he should seek, the family or NUJ or anybody concerned should seek the services of a lawyer and file fundamental rights suit against the police. The lawyer here is in a better position to tell us how best to get about it.
All right, Council, that's the last we're going to take on. But quickly, on on a very fast note. What is this young man, the journalist, what is he supposed to do? The police has vowed that they are not going to let him go or fail. Does the law permit that?
Well, we have a limit to which you can hold somebody just 48 hours and you charge him to court. But in Nigeria, I've told you, the police is not for the common man, it's for the highest bidder. We have the recent case of Farah in Port Harcourt. The governor locked the young man away for trying or wanting to contest to be the governor, to succeed him. Well, he felt this is not my candidate, therefore he has no right to contest. The guy can go to court, absolutely, it is his right to file a fundamental right action, for the breach of his rights. Nigerian courts will grant that prayer, ordering his release. The Nigerian police will sit on it, and nobody cares. This is a country where you don't obey laws. Buhari doesn't obey laws. Governors don't obey laws. The police don't obey laws. The army don't obey laws. The DSS don't obey laws. Even the big man on the street don't obey laws. Doesn't obey laws. Who now will obey the law?
The common man.
The common man, the laws for the
lawmakers themselves don't obey the law they are making.
It's a terrible one. Well, that's the much we're going to take from the National Star. Viewers, very soon now we're going to open our phone line so that you can call in, make your contributions, or maybe ask questions based on the headlines we are treating today. Our line is 09168284994, and I check that again, 09168284994. Still your darling station, the Living TV, where we bring the world first to you. There is a very trending issue that is going on for some time now in Nigeria. We are now going to the nation, the nation. The issue of the former Deputy Senate President and organ harvesting. And now it has taken a new dimension as we speak. Orders the AGF to transmit Okpo's biodata to UK. Let me start with you, Counsel. Is there any constitutional concern? Please let us take the line. Please, I said we are going to open the phone line maybe after now. So then I will now allow you to ask your questions and make your contributions. But for now, we are still on the issues, all right, so that you don't preempt our discussants. All right, the line is still there. I'm not sure they understand what we're talking about.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, good morning. Good morning, and you're welcome to Living TV. The issue is newspaper review.
My name is calling from Imo State.
Okay.
I want to talk briefly about which of these being a nightmare to some political leaders.
Okay.
Personally, my own view, I would say, with the record in Anambra, I feel, following the record of the other contestants, we have the highest profile of transparency in him, which I feel other contestants don't have. For an example, if this election should go free and fair, I feel PPP would win. And also, unless it will be tribal, they will have to say each tribe votes for a person. It will not be complicated at the moment. So, and winning will be so dangerous to people who don't take advantage of taking things that doesn't belong to them, especially things that were given to them for the public. So, him being a nightmare, with the cost of stopping corruption, that's the reason being that it will be uncomfortable. The ground will be very hot for leaders and politics.
All right, thank you, my brother from Imo State. Thank you for that wonderful contribution. I think I think it sounds as a warning from Ohaneze for all the looters to stay clear if Obi is going to be Mr. President, because what they are telling us that Obi is not a looter himself. So there will be no looters in the government. Like one of our discussants said, even if there will be, it will be well minimized. All right, thank you for calling. Thank you. Thank you. All right, well, we're talking about Ekweremadu from the nation. This issue of Ekweremadu. Now, I was asking you, Mr. Lawyer, the issue of this organ harvest, is it a constitutional issue in Nigeria?
No, no such provision, but I don't know their laws. They have their laws. I learned they have a history wherein people were flooding their area and performing these operations, and they enacted a law against it. Here in Nigeria, we don't have any law against it. As a matter of fact, the young man wanted to save the life of his daughter. Kidney transplant is allowed world over. Maybe the process, maybe what they are querying or what we may investigate is a right. Everyone has a right to live. And kidney transplant is a medical process. And that's what they went for, I think so.
Yeah, and Dr. Nduago, now they are talking about David Okpo's biodata, to UK. Don't you think either the court in London, they are suspecting a foul play, either abduction or conspiracy?
To start with, the bone of contention here is age. From what we've read in the papers, David Okpo claimed there that he is 15. And the data that surfaced online says 21, 22. Now, if actually the UK court will want to know the actual age, to be able to ascertain whether the boy was lured into it, another age person legally cannot take a decision, such decisions. So the reason for asking for this data or for trying to send this data to the UK court, as the Nigerian court has ordered the Attorney General of the Federation to transfer this. And remember that the Ekweremadus went to court. They sued the National Identity Management Body, they sued Nigerian Immigration Service and another organization I can't remember. I think NIPS, Interbank Settlement System, to supply the BVN that will show the real date of birth, to give the national ID card that will show the real date of birth, and then the immigration to produce the data he filled out before being issued with the passport. It is to ascertain his real age, to know whether Ekweremadu erred by luring an underage child to harvest his organ. I feel for you, Ekweremadu. I am a father. It is more worrisome that your child is sick at the point of death, requiring your personal parental attention, and you are not there. Mother is in the other prison, father is in the other prison, the daughter for whom they are in the prison is in the other hospital languishing. It is really pathetic to me. I just pray that God will take control of the situation, and justice also to be done in this case.
All right, our wonderful viewers, still Living TV and the subsidiary of Living TV Film Academy, a college of mass communication and multi-film makers. And we'll be back shortly. Just stay there, don't touch the dial. And when we come back, we will continue with Ekweremadu's issue. Stay tuned.
Admission is ongoing at Living TV Film Academy, Aba, Abia State, for candidates wishing to study filmmaking and mass communication for skill certificate training and degree programs, including mandatory NYSC post-degree service. Courses offered are Department of Journalism and Media Studies, Broadcast Journalism, TV Presentation, Photojournalism, Department of Film and Multimedia Studies, Cinematography, Acting, Video Editing, Film Production, Website Designing, Modeling and Makeup, Bead Making, Screenwriting, Theatre Arts, Department of Broadcasting, Script Writing, Journalism, Reporting, Software Programming, Mobile and Web App Development, Audio Production, Graphic Designing, Digital Animation, Special Effects, Social Media Management. Entry qualifications. Candidates must possess 5 credits in WASICAM GCE, NAPTEB or equivalents. We have the following technical infrastructure for students' skills acquisition: an art theatre well equipped for modern digital television and radio studios open for hire to the public, an audio suite for music production, soundtracks, sound effects, jingles and voice-over, etc. A 50 feet by 40 feet chroma studio, largest in Africa for special effects, world-class rendering facilities for post-production rendering, animation and cartoon technology, assorted professional cameras, drones, etc. A film village with epic and village houses for theatre arts and epic films making. Our studies are skill-oriented with well-qualified academic and technical teachers. We also admit students on industrial training and internship from other institutions. Professional license will be issued to graduates to practice as professionals by Bollywood, a registered professional organization for filmmakers. Wow! What are you waiting for? Rush now and obtain our admission form with 2,000 naira only at our main campus, number 1 Judges Road, 5th floor, former UBA House by NEPA, Waterside Descent, Aba, Abia State, Nigeria, or visit our website. Radio, livingradio.com.ng. The Academy, www.livingtvfilmacademy.com. Email, livingtvfilmacademy@gmail.com or call 0805 367 3900 or 0816 641 1400. Signed, Registrar.
Welcome back, viewers, and happy to know that you're still watching Living TV, where we are making sure the word gets first to you. And I still have my wonderful discussants who are here doing justice to the national dailies for today. I still have Dr. Stanley Ndwago and also Barrister Chibenka Owudara Kingsele. All right, Barrister, from what is trending, do you think that the legal process before this young man traveled to London was properly done and handled?
Well, a lot is left to conjectures. All we know is what we read on the newspapers. Nobody actually knows which is the fact and which is not the fact. We know, or we read, Ekweremadu did apply duly, even to the British Embassy, and those are legal processes he should take. I think from what we've read, he complied. He did comply. But until you have seen the facts, you may not be able to conclude.
All right, let us not delve into the age or biodata of the young man until it is publicly made known. But I will also want to ask you, Dr. Ndwago, from what you know about Ekweremadu or read in the papers, has Ekweremadu other children?
Yes.
Outside the one in the hospital?
Ekweremadu does. I am aware of a young man whose photograph surfaced, who actually, either he went to court or he released an official statement. That brings me to the view of the people, and people are saying, if you really are intending to save your daughter and you have other children, why did you not ask any of your children to donate that organ to their sibling? Why did you have to go out to look for one poor boy out there to exploit? That is where the issue exploitation is coming up. So in answer to your question, as to answer it directly, yes, Ekweremadu has other children.
All right, without prejudice to what is happening right now as we speak, I've also learned, I don't know him too well, but I've also learned that has about 2 other children, making them 3. And do you think, forgetting about these 2, if actually we know there is no parent that want any of his children to suffer and die of any kind of sickness. Some will go at least about 2 days ago, we read about a young man who donated his own kidney to save the mother. But at the end of the day, the mother survived and the young man died. Oh, nobody will query that because it is blood relation and it was willingly done. He was consented. But in this case, there is a different thing. So, Counsel, do you think that the young man in question, the David Dubois, don't you suspect any form of intimidation or making use of undue advantage because of his position as a former Deputy Senate President?
I don't think so. I don't think so. Ekweremadu has a right to procure the organ if he can. Everybody does that. Everybody has such right.
With what process?
Everybody has that right. Legally, you have a right to procure it if you cannot get it yourself. It is his right. But what we are querying here is, one, the alleged age of the young man and the attitude of the young man. The age, for instance, in the first place. If the young man is 15, certainly he doesn't have consent to donate his organs.
Okay.
Yes. The consent of his parents ought to have been sought. In fact, I don't even think that at 15 he can do that.
Even with the parents' consent?
I don't think so. Yes. Again, we are suspecting a foul play somewhere. Ekweremadu is a lawyer. He's a high-profile personality. Having been the former Senate President, having been that and this, a serving senator, he ought to know the law. And I believe he investigated his facts. That brings me to the issue of demanding for records about the boy. If he was not sure that the boy was past 15 and the age of infancy, he couldn't have procured him. I'm sure he is well aware that the boy is not 15 as he alleges.
Okay. I think that is the much we are going to take on that as it concerns Ekweremadu and his problem. We pray he wriggles out of it. All right. Kuje prison issue. We heard about that. I think it happened on Tuesday. Since yesterday, it has been a trending issue. And Kuje prison is in Abuja, the seat of power of this great country, Nigeria, and was attacked at that level. And the nation here says Kuje prison, 64 Boko Haram suspects escaped after attack. And he's talking about how terrorists invaded facilities. Now, this is happening in Abuja, where all the service chiefs are. When you talk about all the security outfits in Nigeria, that's where they have their headquarters. And they're all seated there. The Army, the DAS, the Air Force, all of them, they're all there. What do we attribute this to, Doc?
Kuje prison attacked in no less a place than Abuja, the nation's federal capital territory. According to you, where the service chiefs are, the chief of army staff, the chief of defense staff, the director of DSS, the IGP, and all that, including Nigerian Intelligence Agency. Of course, they talk about external affairs. And this prison was attacked. We've not heard that there was any resistance. For now, yes. I am not aware. One news item I heard said that even 24 hours before the attack occurred, that there was an intelligence report stating that the facility was going to be attacked. Another paper I read said that a few hours before the attack, that the military personnel were withdrawn from the facility. And 64 Boko Haram suspects, all escaped. No one has been apprehended up to this moment. I believe there is more to it than we know. The federal government of Nigeria has not told us exactly what happened. I'm not mincing words about it. It is pathetic. It is horrible. It is a shame to a nation like Nigeria.
All right, Council, you heard it. In Abuja, the seat of power, where we have all this, what do we have to say to the service chiefs, to the military personnel who will believe? You said sometime, you said here this afternoon that I think one of the paramount duties of any government is the protection of life and property. What do we say to these service chiefs and military personnel?
Kuje prison break or attack is a mockery of a nation. There is no better way to define it, to describe it. How can you even think about it? Not even in our neighboring African countries. Can you even think about this? Nigeria, Kuje, we know, or we are meant to believe, is the most secured prison facility in Nigeria. They no longer call it prison anyway. The correctional service centers. Yes. Now, by the location alone, we learned it is surrounded by hills. How did these people even gain access to the place? In Abuja, I've read a source that said that military personnel guarding the facility were withdrawn 24 hours to the attack. The attack lasted for more than 1 or 2 hours. No resistance. Well, I think there is a sabotage. It also boils down to what has been happening since our current president took over the helms of this nation. We have been having security breaches. This is not the first. This cannot even be the most heinous. We have been having it. Some sources reports say he expressed surprise. He has expressed surprise when he will appoint only his kinsmen, qualified or not qualified. His kinsmen also work with the terrorists. This is a known fact. An aide to Gumi now told us or wrote that he informed them that there will be an attack. He also said that it is ISWAP or those who were responsible for the Kaduna attack. So how did he come about this information? This piece of information he's dishing out. Somebody knows something that we are not being told. But one thing I know, there must be a collaboration. It is a calculated thing. In fact, it was planned. Both those in the security and those outside. Boko Haram, ISWAP, terrorism in the north has something to do with those in government. I wouldn't miss sweats. I don't care. I don't want to fear anything. We know that the system is corrupted. We know that the system is not working. And we know that those who are benefiting from the system are keeping the system that way. We are asking for the CCTV footage of what happened. Do we have CCTV in that place? This was the same thing when Buhari's wife went to National Hospital. She expressed shock. They are budgeting money for these facilities, these instruments, but his own brothers, those people he has placed in a place to loot, because that's all we do in Nigeria. And the looting, I must tell you, forget where I'm coming from. We have, if you watch it, consistently been pointed at somewhere. Our Fulani brothers who are in government, they have been looting the country. Who are the people in the military echelons? Who are the people responsible for this? They are from the same area. You know,
all right.
Still talking about looting. Don't forget that thousands of dollars were also looted from the prisons reported.
Okay, yeah, we'll come to that. But our viewers, we want to sincerely let you know that whatever thing that is said here in this review has nothing to do with the Living TV and its management. It is entirely the discussant's view. It is their intention. It is their what they know about it. Living TV has nothing to do with it. I want you to note that. Yes, Dr. Ndago, there was something you said about, although the barrister repeated it also, about an information prior to the time of the attack, that this place will be attacked and so on. Do we now assume that this is a calculated attempt, even that those in power are aware of it?
If the information that there was a prior notice is true, then there was a sabotage, or there was a collaboration, or people know certain things we do not know. And I still believe if this matter is fully investigated, how come the soldiers were withdrawn 24 hours to that period? How come that they operated for over an hour and there was no resistance? How come that we are only told about 64 Boko Haram suspects? Remember, this is supposed to be a maximum prison where daredevil terrorists are kept. There is more, I repeat, to it than the ordinary citizen of Nigeria knows.
We were told that place was housing 1,200 and something inmates, and only 111 were left, including Abakari, Jalinyami, the high-profile persons. And those whose sentences are almost running out. The rest were there. Like somebody who asks, in a correctional service center like that place, there should be information about every inmate. As we speak today, you have not heard that so person was among those who escaped. With their pictures, if you go to our prisons, they should have these states.
Yes.
This information, they should have the data of everybody.
That's true.
Mr. So escaped. Mr. So escaped. Mr. So escaped. Look at who he is. If that man is passing through about today, whoever has escaped from that place, I may not know him. But if you give us information about him, we may be able to assist the security personnel to arrest a fleeing convict. But here in Nigeria, you don't have such things. Everything is merry-go. I just don't understand Nigeria.
What you're saying, there is no how you will have inmates without a proper
documentation
analysis of those people.
Yes.
Of this person.
That is the norm.
And since this attack, there have been no publication concerning these persons.
We only hear about
pictures.
64 Boko Haram suspects. That's all we hear all the while.
All right, there's more to it, like you all said, but let us also look at this statement in Punch. He says that ISWAP claims responsibility, frees Kaduna train attack masterminds. If there is a group called ISWAP, are they ghosts? Are they spirits? Don't they know where they are? Since they have claimed they are the people responsible for what happened, what has Nigerians or even the military done about this? Let me start with you, Doc.
This is a very big question for me to answer. People have claimed responsibility for that.
Yeah.
These people are supposed to be known. ISWAP, where are they? They operate in Nigeria. They're not operating in the moon or in the space. The security architecture of Nigeria is not just faulty, it is compromised. That is just this issue. I have nothing more to add to it.
All right, Council, we are operating on, they call it, this is federalism, and that is to say, where all the states are directly involved in whatever we do here. Is it proper that the service chiefs are from one particular ethnic group? In fact, anything that concerns security, and then we have the federal house and the senators, and nothing is done about it. Don't you think this is one of the major reasons for this insecurity?
Well, I've said something about incompetence and nepotism, you know, we are appointing only people from this area. But, competence, if Nigeria is working as a unit, ordinarily it wouldn't have mattered from where you are coming from. But Nigeria is not operating in that form. Nigeria is operating on, I am from here, I care about my people. From the presidency, we are divided in that line. Well, the issue of this ISWAP or whatever is not happening in the East. Though we have our challenges here. You will also remember or recall that the same day, which day was the presidency attacked? In his own place. The convoy, whatever it is, advance or the president himself, the convoy, advance or himself, attacked, ambushed. No, it is pathetic. It is worrisome. Nobody is safe. It is hard time the architecture of security in this country is changed. Somebody has to speak. But Buhari has been in power for 8 years. Nothing has changed. Right. You don't talk about those in the Senate or representing the people. They will talk and make the necessary noise, but the buck lies with the man in whom it still lies with.
For record purposes, I do not think it is 100% true or correct as the case is that all the service chiefs are from one ethnic group. I don't think that is actually true.
Yes, we have a rapport.
I know that we have one chief of defense staff who is from the, I think there are 4
from Delta State.
Chief of Army Staff, Chief of Defense Staff, Chief of Air Staff, and then Chief of Naval Staff. I think 2 are from the south, while 2 are from the north.
Okay, can our viewers know what federal character is and what it means? Council.
Well, we are not here to talk about federal character or administration of government now. No, that's another issue that will take us to something else. Ordinarily, yes, everybody should be represented fairly in the federal character arrangement. But that's not what we're here for. Like I said earlier, competence is one, unity is another. If we pursue the same goal, Nigeria is no more diverse than India. It isn't than even America. But these people have overcome their differences. Until when would Nigeria grow to that extent? When the Fulani man would always want to subjugate the other, or think that the other person is a slave, we cannot make progress. We cannot have unity. I think we should start living above these sentiments.
All right. We take the final one of this last paper, that's the Sun. Obi replies, so we're not going to that. But fears in Abuja over Boko Haram inmates escape. I don't want us to look at that. But U.S. raises the alarm of possible spike in crime, terrorist attacks in and around Abuja. This is the U.S., and so I'm talking about this in Abuja. If the people in Abuja are not safe, security-wise, what happens to other states in Nigeria?
Their fears are not unfounded. When daredevil prison inmates escape, first of all, a number of them will want to stay around the vicinity of Abuja. They are a threat, a security threat, to the town and even surrounding towns. U.S. has a way it gathers its intelligence, and I am sure they would have known certain things we don't know. So their fears are right. we should expect a spike in violent crimes in around Abuja. We should escape other things that will follow that. That is now where the Nigerian security men should rise up to the challenge if they are actually serious to do that. They should beef up security in around Abuja. They should release the identities of these inmates, escaping inmates, so that a number of them could be recaptured and returned to the prison. But if nothing is done, Abuja residents are in trouble. And that is what the US is saying.
Yeah, Council, do you think it's only going to be in Abuja? You said something here, like if our officials are serious about this, the pictures and the biodata of all these escapees should have been published. At least, if you look at their faces anywhere, because they are not just going to be in Abuja. Some of them would travel to some other states nearby, to go and hide themselves. So don't you think that the government is supposed to do something about this, since no news has come about their being apprehended?
Well, if I ask, what do you expect the government to do?
At least publish the names and the faces of these escapees.
We are talking about a failed system. We are talking about what government would do. If it is a proactive government in the first place, that attack wouldn't have happened. If it's a proactive government in the second place, every data of all the fleeing inmates would have been released. Yes, America, maybe I want to say they were fast to say this. Everybody knows there will be fears in and around Abuja, even in other states. These are daredevil criminals who have carried out high-profile attacks involving lives and properties. It is not a plaything. It is not a toy in the hands of children.
Just in a word, Dr. Nduago, Buhari says he is disappointed at our intelligence system. Disappointed.
That is mere rhetoric. Who is the chief security officer of the country? Who is the commander-in-chief? Who should take responsibility for what happened? Is he shifting blames to who? To me or to my poor mother at home? It is shameful that he would say that for public consumption. He should have taken responsibility for what happened and done the needful, or rejig the security architecture. To me, what he said is mere rhetoric.
And Barrister, what's your take on that finally?
He's
disappointed.
I've earlier said it that he said he's surprised. Well, the fact is, let me just say this. Those who ought to say truth to power are not saying it. And again, those his lieutenants are only feeding fat from that. They are not telling him what is happening. The real pictures. Have you forgotten so quickly? What Buhari will tell us, I'm not aware of that. I'm not aware of this. Everything that happens, he's not aware. I bet you Buhari is saying the truth. He doesn't know. Because they will not report to him. He will be surprised. Maybe they have presented that budget, he has mapped out money for it, they will not pay you. He will get there and nothing is on ground. Somebody has made away with the money. And nobody will care to query the person. Nobody will care to call the person to order. Nobody will care to say, who did this? It is a normal, rational thing. We are used to it.
All right, wonderful viewers out there. We are happy you've been with us all this while. And we're going to be back again same time tomorrow to continue with our national dailies and also Nigeria Today, what the paper had written and the responses of our well-lettered professional individuals who are also going to look into these issues. You have every right, anytime, any day, to call in and also tell us your view, what you think about the dailies we are going to give to you, and so on. And in the studio with me today from my far left is Dr. Stanley Nduago. Dr. Stanley Nduago, thank you for being part of the program.
Thank you, Mr. Presenter, for having me. And dear viewers, join us again tomorrow for another interesting edition. And
Barrister Chimenka Owodara Kinsley.
Thank you, Mr. President. Moderator, we're done for the day. I thank God for today. And I think it has been.
And our wonderful viewers, we will be back same time tomorrow. Just keep a date with us and continue enjoying Living TV, where we bring the world first to you.
Admission is ongoing at Living TV Film Academy, Aba, Abia State, for candidates wishing to study filmmaking and mass communication for skill certificate training and degree